Hello everyone, Tiffany here with Fabric Creations by Tiffany, and I'm getting ready to sew some curves today, and I thought I would give you a quick little tip if you're making a double wedding ring pattern or any pattern for that matter that has curves. So stay tuned and I'll show you how to put this together. Okay, let me give you a little tip here as far as sewing this curved seam. This is what we're trying to accomplish here. And it works much better at your sewing machine if this white piece is on the top and the printed piece is on the bottom, and vice versa here when you sew this seam. But here's the way I remember that when I'm pinning these together. Okay, think of this as your smile. Your smile goes on the bottom. Okay, it curves up. So this piece that has the smile will go on the bottom. The piece that's joining to that goes on the top. Okay, so here's my little notches. I put a pin here in the center. Okay, then we're going to match this up with the corner. Now we want to put it about 1/4 of an inch from the corner and place a pin right there. Okay, then this side we want to place it about 1/4 of an inch from this edge and place a pin here, so that when you go to the sewing machine, and I'll show you that in a minute, you're going to be sewing this curve right here. Now when you get to this piece, you don't pin it on yet, but you'll be attaching it like this, and this is your smile that goes on the bottom. So we flip it and make sure it's on the bottom and this piece is on the top, and then we center and pin them together. But first we'll go to the sewing machine. I'll show you how to sew this curved piece. Now we're at the sewing machine, and my tip for sewing this curved seam, now this white piece is going to have to be stretched a little bit. That's contrary to what we've always taught in sewing, don't stretch, but you're going to have to stretch this just a little to get it to fit here. So what I like to do is put my thumb in between the two layers. Can you see that my thumb's in there? Okay, so that helps me to grab this top white piece, and I also have my thumb and forefinger of my right hand on this pin that's in the center. So see how I'm going to place this and just kind of pull and stretch as I sew this curved seam. Just keep a hold of the pin in the center, and that way it'll be aligned properly. Now when you get almost to it, you can move down here and make sure you still have your thumb in between the two layers so you can keep them flat. Now as we approach the center, make sure your needle is down anytime you stop, because you sure don't want this to get out of place. Okay, here we go. See how I'm just grabbing at the pin and then keeping my thumb in between the layers to align those. Take the pin out. There we go. My back stitch just one stitch. Okay, now let's see how we did here. Hopefully there's no bubbles. Now I'm ready for the second piece that goes on, the piece with the point. And this time, as I told you when we were doing our pinning, the smile is your white piece this time, so the curve on the white piece goes on the bottom and your printed piece goes on the top. Now, in my experience, this piece is a little easier to work in than the first curve that we sewed. So it's, for some reason, it's a little easier to stretch in. It's probably because this has some seams in it and you're stretching your top piece. So it's just a little bit easier. Okay, we're going to start off with our needle down and make a couple of stitches to lock it in place. Now remember, we grab our center pin with our forefinger and thumb of our right hand, then poke your thumb through the center and place it. See how it lays a little bit nicer? It's a little bit easier than the first go around. But anyway, you just kind of lightly stretch this in place and go on around till you get to your center pin, and be sure your needle stays down. Okay, take the pin out. Now move on down to your second pin here, keeping the thumb in the center. Place it right on top of your white piece. Go on around here. So I hope you're enjoying learning how to sew curves. Now this is for the double wedding ring pattern, and this is in no way a complete tutorial for that quilt, but it's just a tutorial for sewing the curves. So thank you for watching.